Hello, my young friends. Hello, Master. There are many indicators of a wise child.
有智慧，他会有很多表现。
First, he must have a dream, though he may have nothing
你
else.
可以没有一切，你今天
He may be
比如说家里
poor
很
and
贫穷，
plain, with no physical strength, it
或者
doesn't
自己长得也
matter.
不好看，甚至是没有体力，这都没有关系。
I want to
那
ask,
请问
is there
有没有
anyone who
人
wants to have
希
a
望
better
自己的未
future?
来将来会更好呢？
Say,
比如
you want to
成为
become an
工程师，
engineer, politician, or
或者
lawyer.
成为官员，成为律师。
Each
这是每个
person
人
has their
有
own
每个人的
fate,
命
dream,
运，
and life.
每个人有自己的梦想，也会有自己的人生。
All
今
of
天你
you
坐在
here
这
are
儿，
young.
大家都
When
是
you
一个
reach
小同学，
adulthood, a new life
但
starts.
是未来长到成年人，你的人生之路就刚刚开始。
Through a
那
few
我在
decades of
做了一
study,
些调查研究，那我的研究结果呢？我研究的过程它是很长很长，几十年。
I've
但
found
是研
that
究
a
的结果
satisfying
呢，我
life
就
is
会
doing
很
an
快地告诉
occupation
你，
one likes.
那一个让自己令自己满意的人生，其实就是做你自己喜欢的职业。就是做自己喜欢的职业。
It's like
像你
getting
为了结
married,
婚，
people
你要
want to
和你
marry
喜
the
欢的一
person
个
they
人
like.
才结婚，对不对？你老
Surely,
爸
you won't
知
feel
道你，
comfortable
你必须嫁
marrying
给
the
他，
girl your dad forces
儿
on
子你
you.
必须娶那个姑娘，你不喜欢她，你肯定会就心里不舒服。那
This
么
is true of
结婚找
marriage.
对象是这样子，
It's
同
also
时职
true of
业
your
呢，
occupation.
更是自己
You
要
want to
喜
do your
欢。
dream job. Just
刚才
now,
后
the
面那
handsome
位
14-year-old
14岁
said,
的
My
小帅
mother
哥就
wants me
说：“
to play
我
the
妈让我拉
violin.
小提琴。” 其实
In
我自
fact,
己
I
也不
don't
知道
know
我
what
该
I
干
will
嘛，
do.
我觉得
I don't think I will be a
我不一
violinist.
定我要做拉小提琴的艺术家。对，但
But
是
if
如
you
果比
enjoy
如说
playing
你
the
喜欢拉
cello,
大提琴，
learning and
可能
practicing
你
it,
就拉大提琴的时候有一种快乐、享受的感觉。那你在学习呀、训练这个过程之中，你是
you can be a
享受。
cello player.
我们
That
那边有一
student
个小
said
同
he
学说
wanted
我
to
要
be
做
a
漫画家，
cartoonist.
我
I
觉得
think
漫
it's
画
good.
那个很好，通过
Through
漫画
cartoon
表
stories,
达
you
故
give
事，
others happiness and
给人
inspiration.
以快
It's
乐，给
wonderful.
人以启发，这非常好啊。所以我
Many
们在看到
book-length
现代
stories
的
are
小
told
说
through
很多小
cartoons.
说都是漫画的形式。
If
所
you
以
like this
你
occupation
现在
and turn
喜
it into
欢
your
的、
focus and pursuit,
羡慕的这样的一种职业，如果把它变成你的一个信仰，把它变成你的未来的一个追求，
you'll
那你
feel
在做这
happy
件
when
事
you
的
are
时候，
learning and
你
pursuing
在
this
学习
occupation.
去追求这样的一个职位的时候，你会有快乐的感觉。我
I
认识
know
很
many
多的
people
人，
from
不
different
同的行
trades.
业。
A grandpa's entire
可是有一
family
位
was making tofu.
从爷爷那一代，他们家是开豆腐坊卖豆腐。
His
现在他的孙
grandson
子
wanted to be an
这
artist,
一
a
代
cello
说
player.
真的我要拉大提琴，成为艺术家。他
The
们从企
family
业
was
家
against
做
him
手工
going
业
from entrepreneur to
变成艺
artist.
术家，他们全家都反对。你看我们家买
We've
了
bought a
房子，
house and
买了
car
汽
and
车，
sent you
能
to a
供你
good
上好的
school.
学校，就是因为卖豆腐。可
Now
现在
you
你都
don't
不
like
喜
it.
欢，
The entire family
我
criticized
全家
him.
人都骂他。最后
This
这个孩子
child
很
was
痛苦，
suffering and came
就
to
来问
me.
我，
Master, do you think
师
I'm
傅，
wrong?
那你觉得是不是我这样是错误？我
Do
觉
you
得你
feel
真
happy
的
when you play the cello?
你在拉这个琴的时候，你有快乐的感觉吗？他说我特别快乐。虽然我
Yes,
拉得
I'm
很难
happy,
听，
though I
但是我
don't
觉得
play
很
that
快乐。
well.
我觉
This
得
is
这
love
就
in
是喜
action.
欢。
I told his parents,
我
don't
就给他
force
爸
him.
妈说，你就不要逼他了。虽然
Making
豆腐是
tofu
养活了你
supports
们
your
全家，
family,
也
but
许
your
但是
son
他
may
成为
support
一
his
个艺
kids
术
as an
家，
artist.
去养活他的下一代。所以不
Don't
要去
force him to
强迫
follow
他，
you in
不要
making
去给你做
tofu.
豆腐。
Liking
就
a
是所以
job
你喜
makes you
欢的那个
interested, happy,
那
and
种
motivated.
职业那种行为，它会让你有兴趣，并且是快乐的，而且呢还会有动力。比如说
After
你写完
school, you
就是
finish
我说
homework and are
放学
motivated
之
to
后
play the cello.
写完学校的作业，你自己就会有动力。比如说拉大提琴，我自己拉，虽然
Though
很
you
难
don't
听，但
play
是
it
我很
well.
喜欢。
If you want to be a cartoonist, whenever you're free, you will draw. Though you don't draw well, you like it. As you're young, you want to find a teacher to teach you to draw cartoons or play the cello. When you like it, you'll keep learning. In a few years, you'll become an expert. It's very possible. When I was young, I knew a boy of my age who was learning martial arts. When he started, in the first month, he learned kicking and boxing from his master. We laughed at him so much our stomachs hurt. When his master said left, he turned right. He did it every time. It was weird. When instructed to turn right, he turned left. It made his master very angry. How could he teach this kid? I met this boy 10 years later. He was so different. He had become a master in martial arts. His fist smashed the stone to pieces. Remarkable. At first, no one thought he had a bright future. He was slow-witted. But he liked martial arts. He practiced for 3 hours daily. Now he's a master in martial arts. He's my age and has taught many disciples. He's generated such motivation. After school, aside from assignments you have to do, you spend time going online, reading randomly, chatting, or playing video games. Of course, some learn some knowledge informally. But many kids just destroy their body and waste their precious time. Creating no help for their future life and occupation. For now, it's okay that you may not have a clear dream. An immediate and short-term dream is to improve your grades. As a student, don't you want to improve your grades? If you want to raise your grades, raise your hand. Let me have a look. Okay, put it down. Those who don't, please raise your hand. Those who are among the top 3. If they still raise their hand, the earth would explode. How could we live? Many students raise their hands, wishing to improve their grades. It's not difficult to boost your grades. First, reduce the time spent on video games, meaningless chatting and watching movies. Reduce this by 40 minutes daily. This requirement isn't high. Use the 40 minutes to review your lessons. Isn't this practical? It isn't that you chant today and you'll become smart tomorrow. You use 40 minutes to review all you've learned in the day. You don't need to test yourself, just review what you were taught. A month later, if there is a test, your grade usually rises by 10%. If you don't believe me, just try. Your grade will rise. This is one method. The second method is to find a tutor. Usually, not all your subjects' grades are low, right? Maybe a couple among all subjects are low. Find a tutor or ask your teacher to help you catch up. Within 3 weeks, you can make up ground. If you can't catch up in 3 weeks with others in the class, you won't have good grades in that subject. A poor grade in a subject results in difficulty entering college. Without a college education, it's hard to find a good job. Unless you're super smart, you can't find a good job without going to college, unless you are a genius. Otherwise, life will be challenging. You may do manual labor more than intellectual work. Manual labor often isn't highly paid. School performance or marks are important for college admission. The next thing is the meaningful charity work that you partake in. However, your grades are the basic requirements. In class, please remember, if you don't understand, just ask. I'm a meditation teacher. I like students to ask me questions. If you truly don't understand, ask me. I'll see that you are very earnest. However, if you don't understand, and you're shy to ask, others seem to understand, but you don't. It shows you are stupid. If you don't ask, you won't understand and you'll fail exams. So, ask the teacher on the spot if you don't understand. Usually, teachers like students to ask questions. They hope all their students get excellent grades. Then teachers feel their job is done. To improve one's grades in school, there are 3 methods. Let's review them. Do you still remember them? The first one? Cut your playtime by 40 minutes to review the day's learning. Except for PE class, reviewing all the subjects once is enough. If you don't understand it, find a way to make sense of it. This doesn't include the time for doing assignments. Separate them. The second tip to improve grades is to find a tutor. Be it your school teacher or a tutor outside. If you can catch up, you'll be fine. If not, you'll face difficulties. You won't have a chance to go to university. Going to college is a must. The third one is, if you don't know, ask questions. When you are in class and your teacher is explaining a math problem that you don't understand, say, "Teacher, could you please explain it again for me?" You must ask if you don't understand. Teachers like being asked on the spot. However, many children are afraid teachers dislike them asking questions. Teachers like it, as they're happy if their students have good grades. They'll think, how wonderful my students are. They have to compete with other teachers. There are 30 students in a class. Their marks total 20,200 more than other classes' marks. The teacher is happy because the principal will give him bonuses. Please ask if you don't understand. They like to explain the principle to you. So, there are 3 methods to improve grades. Hope you remember them. It's silly and simple. A serious
我是
problem
发
affecting
现
children and
很多
adults is
成年人有一个很严重的问题，孩子这个问题就更严重，就是
poor
表达能力
communication skills.
好多人
Many
就
know a
心里
lot
头
but
很明
can't
白，
speak
但是说
clearly,
不出
though
来。
they want to.
他不是不想说，想说说不清楚。
Does
有没有
anyone
人觉
feel
得自己
unable
有
to
一点这个障
communicate?
碍的？
Raise
表
your
达障碍
hand. Put it
请举手
down.
放下吧。
You
你们
suffer a
吃亏
lot
吃很
without
多
good
呀。
communication skills.
就
Dating
光交
requires
男女朋友都要
communication.
靠谈呐，洽谈呐。
We
你不能
can't
靠
just
动手
use
动
our
脚。
hands or body to touch, we
你要
must
靠
use
嘴
our
来说
mouth to
话。
speak.
你
With
的
poor
表达能力
communication
是
ability,
很
you'll
低
be
下的话，
unsuccessful at dating.
很没有机会谈恋爱，还
You
有
won't have the
很
chance
没
to
有
feel
机会
honored and valued.
去提升你的荣誉的感觉。
Whether
你
you're
想，
a doctor, teacher,
无论你是
engineer,
做医
boss,
生、
president,
做老
premier,
师、
mayor, or
做工
actor,
程师、做老板、做总统、做省长、做市长、做演员，
don't
他
you
们需
need
不需要表
communication
达沟
skills?
通呢？
Yes.
需要啊。
When
你就是
hunting
找
for a
工作，
job,
你也
you
要
need to have an
interview，你也给
interview.
人面谈，对不对？可是
You're
你心里头明
knowledgeable
白，觉得
but can't
哇，
express
像哑巴
yourself
一样说
well.
不出来，说不要你。
You
说
aren't hired, as you can't work
一天
well
工作
without
8个
good
小时，你能好好
communication.
工作吗？那好，不能啊，不能算了。最后说不要你。
In
其实你
fact,
很急
you're
就是
so
没说出
anxious
来。
that you get tongue-tied. I
我
met
遇到
many
好
adults
多
unable
成
to
年人，
express
不是孩
themselves
子，
well,
就
they
有这
suffer
个
a
表
lot.
达障碍，吃亏吃大了。
Some
人
get
家提
promoted
升
and
了，
find a
人
good
家
job
找
or
到好工作，
partner,
人家
others
找
are
到
just
好的
helplessly
男女
anxious.
朋友。
People
你在
unable
这
to
干着急啊，
communicate
因为
well
你不会
tend
表达。
not to be noticed by the
不会
opposite
表达的
sex.
人，他不容易被异性关注。
Do
听得
you
懂异性
understand
吗？
opposite sex?
就是
Boys and
男
girls are
孩女孩，
opposite sexes. The
不同的
ability
性
to
别就叫
express
异性
yourself
化。
is easily noticed by the
善于
opposite
表达
sex.
的容易被异性关注，
Do
所
you
以
want to
大家
elevate
想不
your
想
ability to
提升
communicate
一下自己的
effectively?
表达能力？
It's
我觉得
needed in
很多
almost
的
all
职业，几乎
occupations.
所有的职业，
If
如
this
果你的
ability
表
is
达能力
improved
再
a
提
bit,
升一点的话，
your
你的工
salary
资
and sense of achievement
你
will
的
increase
成
by
就
more
感
than double.
不是1+1呀。
A
比如说
salary
一
of
年因为有3万块
$30,000
钱
will be
工资，
raised to at least
我的反馈达到变
$60,000.
成6万块钱，不是这样的，这是最低的收入，3万变6万，这是最低的。
There
还
may
有
be
它
a
是一
rising
种
effect
发
like
酵的
yeast.
化学的
It
反
could be
应，
raised to
发酵的。
$300,000
你
or
可能一
more.
年有30万的工资，或者是更多。
It
听起
sounds
来
like
说
an
哦，有这么夸张
exaggeration,
吗？
right? Let me give you an
我给你
example.
们举个例子，我就
It's
说
a
明
true
做
story
豆
of a
腐的事情。
tofu business that made a fortune.
我说一个做豆腐发家致富的事情啊，一个真实的故事。
There was a
一个老
renowned
王
brand,
家，
Wong
姓
Family
王的
Tofu.
王家豆腐，
Everyone liked it.
有名气，做得好，大家都喜欢吃。
Lao
但是
Wong
王
was a
老板呢，
craftsman whose
他
ability
是
to
一
make
个叫做
tofu was
手
top
艺人，
notch.
就是他做豆腐的这个能力是最棒的，
But
可
his
是他的
ability to
卖
sell
豆腐的能
tofu
力
was
是
poor.
最差的。
He
他的
believed
概
it
念
was
就是说，
enough to
只要
make the
豆腐
best
好，我
tofu.
不
No
用
need
去
to
宣
promote.
讲，
Everyone
我
knew
不
his
用说
tofu
大家都
without
知道，
advertisement.
这是对的。
This
他们
was
全村
true.
人都
The
知道，
entire
给
village
全
bought
村
his
人都买他的
tofu.
豆腐。
He
他也
made
发
money
家，
and supported
也
his
就是他
family
能
by
够
making
用这个豆
tofu,
腐
but he
坊
wasn't
养活自己
wealthy.
的家庭，但是并不富有。
He
那么
hired
他
many
雇佣了
people
很
to
多人
work
在
for
他家
him,
做
among
豆腐。
whom there was
那有
Xiao
个小
Li.
李在老王家一起帮工做工人做豆腐。小
Xiao
李
Li
就很
was
聪明
smart
伶
and
俐，
obtained
学到
Lao
了老
Wang's
王家
tofu
做豆
making
腐的这
skills.
种能力。
He
但
had
是小李
strong
更厉
communication
害的
skills
是，
with which to
他的
promote his
表达
products.
能力非常强，推广能力又很强。所以
So
他
he
的豆
sold
腐不光
tofu
是在
not
自己
only
村
in
里
his
卖，
own village but
还
also in
要
other
去到别
villages.
的村去卖，很会说。嗯，
He
他说
said,
我的豆
"Why
腐
is
为
my
什么好
tofu
吃
so
呢？
delicious?
我
I
都是
use
用
the
最
best
好的黄
soybeans."
豆。
Half
比
a
如说1斤
kilogram
黄
of
豆
soybeans
做
makes
2
1
斤豆腐，
kilogram of
大家听
tofu.
这个数学题哈。1斤黄豆做2斤豆腐，所以
Tofu
豆
is
腐
substantial
很
and
实在，
delicious
很
without
好
any
吃，
artificial
很
stuff.
结实，就是好吃的，就是没有掺假。别
Other
人家做
tofu
的豆腐
isn't
不
as
好
good
吃，
as
是因
mine,
为
as they use
1
half a
斤黄豆
kilogram of soybeans to
做
make
3斤到
1.5
5
to
斤豆腐，
2.5 kilograms of tofu.
所以它就
So
不
theirs
实在。
isn't substantial,
我的
but
豆腐
mine is.
是很实实在在的黄豆的原料，就这么
Also,
好，
my
而且我
soybeans
用
are
的是
organic,
有
free
机
of
黄豆，
chemicals.
没有加农药的，不放化学品的，
Through his promotion, Xiao Li's tofu reached 10 villages, they all liked his tofu.
所以这个小李很快就是卖到十几个村的人都喜欢他的豆腐。
3 years later, Xiao Li's family income was more than Lao Wang's in 3 generations.
3代豆腐的还要富裕。
10 years later, Xiao Li became the wealthiest in the
小
area.
李已经是全县城最富的人。
With the same skill, plus his communication ability, he sold more tofu.
表达的能力强了之后，所以他的豆腐可以卖得更多。
What made Lao Wang angry was this. Xiao Li's business was too busy to meet people's
自己
needs,
根本忙不过来，把
so he bought Lao
王
Wang's
家的
business.
豆腐坊给收买掉，成为小李家的豆腐坊。
Lao Wang's
小李
tofu
豆腐
business lasted
老
3
王豆腐已经
generations,
传了3代了，
and
可
it
是
was
有一天
suddenly
突然
bought
变成
by
了小
Xiao
李豆腐。
Li. Great communication results in good sales.
强之后而产生的一个效果和业绩。
In the
按
words
照
of
中
Chinese
国古人
ancients,
说
with a
凭着一
silver
张
tongue,
嘴凭着那个3寸不烂之舌，
one
去
can
拿下
conquer
一
a
个国家
country.
来，所以
Isn't
表
good
达能力
communication important?
是不是很重要？对，
Great
所以在很
achievers,
多
such as wealthy people or celebrities,
就是人生得了大成就的人，比如说赚了很大的钱，成为很大的名人啊等等的，
have
都是
succeeded with 10% skill, but 90% wisdom or 80% good communication.
9分智慧，8分表达能力。
Good
就是表达能力
communication is
太重
extremely
要。
important. How
表
can
达
we
能力怎
develop
样
this
训练呢？
ability? Some
有人
say,
说，那
I'm
我又
not
不
an
是演
actor or a
员，
singer. Why
我
should I
又不是
develop
做
this
歌
ability?
星，那我为什么训练我的表达能力啊？
I
我的
believe
经验
everyone
是，
is an actor or
每个
actress
人
in their
都
life.
是你这
They
人
need to
生的
act
演
well.
员，每个人都是演员，但是你要扮演好自己。
To
比如
be
说
an
你要做
accountant,
会计
you have
师，
to know how to calculate.
这个演员你要真的会算账。
To
你
be
要
a
做老
teacher,
师，
you
你
have
真
to
的
like
喜欢教
children.
孩子。
To be a martial
你
master,
做
you
武
must
术家，
conquer
你就
fear.
能不怕死，往
You
死里
should
练去，
practice hard, then you
才
can
能练
gain
出超人
superior
的
martial
武功。
arts kung fu.
所以
Anyone
有
who
人
wants
想
to
训练自
improve
己的
their
表达能力
communication
吗？
ability?
如
Raise
果
your
有，请
hand
举
to
举
let
手。
me see.
有的
Yes,
哈，一听说
hearing
发
you
财
can
可
become
以，
rich, you want to
坏
try.
了，你
Put
太
it
失
down.
态了，
You're all
这个孩
materialistic.
子们不学好啊。好，
Okay, find an
那
article
就
you like in
找
whatever
你比较
language
喜
and
欢的
read it
文
aloud
章，
before a mirror at
无
home.
论任何一种语言都可以哈，你熟悉的语言，回家照着镜子来读。每个
Every
人家里
home
都有
has a
洗手间，
bathroom with a
洗手
big
间的镜子
mirror.
大一些，
Don't use a
不
small
要拿这么
mirror.
小的镜子，没有用的。我
You
们
can
得
see
照
your
照自己的
face.
面容，
Practice reading aloud like a
要
fool.
很
Be
轻松
relaxed
的，
and expressive.
叫做声情并茂的，就是有感情的来阅读。哎，像个傻瓜一样。但是
All
所有的演员
actors
训
and
练都是这样
actresses
的。
train this way.
哎，
Many
所以很多
practice
电影
calling
演员觉得
others
自己在
when
打
in
电话，
fact
其实
no
那边
one
没
is
人给他
there.
通电话。
The
他
facial
打的就是
expression
你觉
makes
得
it
他的表
seem
情
someone is
真的有
there.
人在给他
This
通
is
话，
acting.
哎，那就是在表演。
You
所以
need
你
to
要练习
practice expressively reading
啊，
aloud an
拿一
article
篇你
you
比较
like.
喜欢的文章，声情并茂的来读。
To
为
make
了
you
让你
more
更有魅力，
charismatic,
所
I've
以
taught
把
you
我
my
的密不外
secret.
传的
Develop
方
your
法，
communication
就是说
ability.
练习这个说话的表达能力。
Good
表达能力主要
communication
是
is
靠
about
说话。
speaking.
所
So
以
practice
对着镜
15
子
to 20
来说话，
minutes daily in front
每
of a
天练习
mirror.
不用多啊，15到20分钟，不
Even
用每
twice
天
a
了，
week will
一个礼
do.
拜有2次
Only
就可以了，
15 to 20 minutes, if you
只
can.
要15到20分钟。如果你能做的话，实
If
在
not,
不行，一个礼
15
拜只有
minutes a
15
week,
分钟可以
okay?
了。
Let's
好，我
meet
们
the
就按
minimum
照最低的
requirement.
哈，每一个礼
15
拜
minutes a week
15
reading
分
an
钟
article
对着镜
aloud
子
while facing a mirror.
读一篇文章。
But you
但
have
是
to
我的要
finish
求是
reading
读一
one
篇文章，
article,
无论
long
长
or
短一定
short.
读完。但是所
Better
以
not
最好
read
不
a
要拿个
long
长篇小说
novel.
来读，
Read a short
好吧？
article.
拿个短一点的。这
This
样形成
way,
一种
you
好
form
习
a
惯，
good
叫有
habit.
始有
Be
终，
persistent. Don't
不要
leave
做
it half
半天就
done.
不做了啊，好吧？
For a dozen minutes a week, read aloud an article while facing a mirror.
但是记住啊，
Be as expressive as possible. Express feelings through facial expressions.
这是有表情的、有情绪的来表达。
Anyone wants to develop wisdom? Only one?
开发智慧的有一个哈。
Do you all think you are very smart? Do you feel your classmates remember everything only listening once? But you've listened 3 times and can't retain? Anyone? I belong to this type. I raise my hand. Are there such young people? Yes.
有哈。
Okay, you want to experience transformation. The causes of poor memory, judgment, and logical thinking are many.
不够的话，有的时候是多种原因的。
The first is
可
genetic.
能是遗传不是那么好。
If your parents aren't smart, you may not be smart
如果
either.
不是的话，你作为第二代，我估计你也不会聪明到哪去。
What to
那怎么
do?
办呢？
You're already born and can't choose your parents, right?
啊？你人都生出来了，不可
You
能
think
你有
my
机会
teacher
选
is
择爸
smart.
妈，对不对？
I want him to be my
让老
dad.
师多聪明，让老师做我爸爸，那不
That's
可能的，
impossible. You're already born and can't reverse it.
回不去了。
I
我有
have a
一个
method to
方法
share with
有
you.
经验啊，就告诉你。
If you have a
每
faith,
天
then before the image of your
如果你有
God or
信仰的
Buddha,
话，
prostrate.
在你家的神呢，佛呀，这个神像前、佛像前，去做叩头礼拜。
I mean the
一般
normal
一
kneeling
般我
down
现
to
在指的是
kowtow.
就是正常跪下叩头。
The best
最好的
way is your
方法，
forehead touching
你
the
的额
floor
头
with some force or sound.
碰地的时候会出一点声音是最好。就是你的
Gently
脑
knock your
呢
head on the
会产生
floor.
轻微的震荡。
It
实际上
actually
就是
activates our
开发
brain
我
and
们大脑
develops
的智
wisdom.
慧和活跃程度。
From a
从科学来说，
scientific
可能会增
perspective,
加
it may increase
血液
blood
会
and
氧气
oxygen
进
in
入
the
大脑
brain and activate it.
让大脑活跃起来。
When we
所以我们在
kowtow,
做
our
这
head
个
gently
叩
knocks
头
the
礼拜
floor,
的时候，
making some sound.
我们的头碰地上，轻轻地碰到有一点声音。
Don't smash your head and knock off your nose after Master teaches you. That's completely wrong. Master doesn't teach this way. Don't use such force. But you should hear the sound. If you prostrate on the carpet, there's no sound.
确实没有声音。
If you force a sound, you'll injure your head.
啊，
When
对
your
但是
head gently
当
knocks on the
当这
floor
个
with
额
some
头有
sound,
碰撞硬的这个地面的感觉的时候，有点声音的时候，
your
让
brain
你
is
的脑
gently
有
shaken,
轻微
which
的
helps to
震荡，
develop your intelligence.
会对我们的智力开发有帮助。这
This
是
is
我的
my
经验。
experience. Any gods or
你
Buddhas
家里
worshipped
信
at
任
home
何
will
神
do.
佛都可以。
Kowtow
在你的神
36
像前、
times
佛
before
像
the
前
image of your God or
去就
Buddha,
叩这个头，啊，
especially in the morning or evening,
36个头，
knocking for 3 times before standing up.
看一下，
Knocking and
这是
standing
一
up
次
counts as one time.
啊，
Either
或者
in
是
the
早晨
morning
或
or
者是晚
evening, do it 36
做36
times.
次
The
这个
effect
的
will
效
manifest in
果
3 months.
是从
You'll become
3个
wiser.
月开始见效，会越来越智慧。
Your
你的大
brain
脑
starts
开始
being
活跃起来
active, though you haven't changed your brain. Scientists say only 5 to 10% of
我
our
们人类
brain
的
is
这个大脑
used.
啊，我们只用了5%到10%之间，
A
所以
huge
有大
chunk
面
is
积的大脑的
unused
这
and
个能
hasn't
量根本
exerted
没
its
有
energy.
发挥出来。
According to
但
my
是我发现
experience,
就是
meditation
我在
makes
修
us
行之
smarter
中
and
的
wiser.
看，这是我自己的一个体会，会让我们的大脑变聪明智慧。
When teachers or parents give you an assignment,
无论老师还是家长，教你做事情，
is
可是
there
呢，
anyone who
当
can't
老师和
focus
家
on
长
it when
不
alone?
去盯紧你看的时候，你就开始玩耍，管不住自己。
Say,
所以
at
你约定
appointed
的时间
times,
说，我
you
必
have to
须要
finish
写作业，
assignments, but
你
you're
会
too
冒着挨
lazy
骂
to
的
do
风
them.
险，很
You
多都
risk
懒得
being
写作业，
scolded,
对不对？
right? You consider doing assignments an extra task.
我不想写。
Good students take initiative with their
都还
assignments.
是主动，
They
他
have
都
a
会
good
变成一
habit
种
of
写作业的
finishing their
习惯，
assignments
把作业
well.
写好。
Students with
成绩低一
low
点的学
grades
生
do their assignments reluctantly.
都会叫做不得已勉强的写作业。说
They
哎
feel
呀
upset
又
doing
写作业
assignments, but they have to do them,
心里
fearing
就
being
很烦
scolded
了
by their
但
teachers.
是又怕老师骂，好吧，写吧。
They
他
do
就
their
在被动
assignments
地写作业。
listlessly. My
在座的小
friends,
朋
do
友，
you
你
ever
有
lose
失控
control
吗？
of
你能完全
yourself?
地控制好
Can
自
you
己吗？
always control yourself well?
我相
I
信没
guess
有
you
这个
don't have
能力。
this ability.
那
As a
为什
human,
么
why can't we carry
我
out
们
our
作为一个
plans?
人类
Do
不
you know
能
why?
够按照自己的计划做事呢？大家知道什么原因吗？
If you
如果
don't
不知道，
know, I'll
我就
speak.
表达了啊。
We are in a world of yin and yang.
我们处在一个阴阳的世界里头。
It's
这
the
是我们的
same for
大
our
脑。
brain.
我
Do
们
my
今天
young
在座
friends
的小
all
朋
know
友
the
都有这
basics
个
about our brain
对
and
人体
body?
基本的了解嘛哈。
Our
这个大
brain
脑，
has
你看我
left
们
and
在
right
照 X
parts
光之
like a
后，
walnut.
像两个核桃一样，分左脑右脑。
In the
中间只
middle,
是有
there are
连贯的
linking
管子，
tubes.
有下水道的管子在里头连着。
The
所以
two
这两
parts
个不
have
同工
different
作
and
的
opposite
两个
functions.
东西，
Say, you want to play video
这
games.
两个东
The
西
left brain wants to play.
就是对立的。比如这个时候我要玩电玩呢，左脑就想我要玩电玩呢，电玩。
The
右脑
right
就说
brain says,
哎呀，
no,
不写
I'll be
作业，老
scolded
师
if I
会
don't
骂。
do my homework. The two parts
就开
start
始
to
矛
be in
盾。
conflict.
但是我还是
You
喜欢
still
玩
want
电
to
玩，
play.
右脑就
The
会说
right
不行
brain
哎，
says,
必写
no,
作
I
业。
should do my
往
homework.
往就是道高一尺，
Often,
魔
evil
高一丈。
thoughts overcome good
就
ones.
还
In
是
the end,
玩
playing
耍
is too
会吸引
tempting.
我。
The
所以
wrong
越是
things
错误的
tend to
越
be
吸引
more
人。
appealing. Why
那为
so?
什么会这样呢？
Our
就是我
body
们
is
的
an opposing,
一个人体
contradictory
本身
unity of
是
yin
处
and
于
yang.
是矛盾对立的这个阴阳体。
Chinese
中国的哲学，
philosophy is
中国
about the
传统
unity
哲
of
学
yin and yang, which
就
is
是
natural
一
law.
一个阴，一个阳，这两东西合起来就是自然的规律。
This is the way. What are
阴
yin
阳
and
是什么呢？
yang? In terms of gender, males are
从人的
yang,
性别来
females
说，
are
就是
yin.
男的为阳，女的为阴。
High
从高
mountains
山
are
为阳，
yang,
河流为
rivers are
阴，
yin. The sun is yang, the moon
太
is
阳为
yin.
阳，月亮为阴。
For colors,
来说，
white is
白的
yang, black is yin.
白
Red
的
is
为
yang,
阳，
green is yin.
什么是阴？黑色的为阴。好，还是颜色哈，红的为阳，什么为阴？红的对立面，绿色。红的为阳，绿色为阴。
For the
好，或者
human
人体，
body, the upper body is yang, the
人体
lower
是有一
body
些
is
说法
yin.
的啊。比如说，我们上半段为阳，下半段为阴。
The
我的
front of the
身体
body
的
is
前
yang,
面
the back
为
is
阳
yin.
面，前面为
Also,
阳
the
面，
skin is yang,
我
the
的背
organs
面
are
为阴
yin.
面，还有我的皮肤的外表为阳，我的内脏里面为阴。
If we know the
我们开始有个概念
concept,
了
we
啊，
can
将
do
来会算
fortune
卦
telling.
啊。
Again, the
上面
above
为
is
阳，
yang, the below is
下面
yin.
为阴。
Tough is yang, soft, like water, is yin.
比如强硬的，强硬的为阳，柔软的像水，这为阴。
Bones are
骨头为阳，
yang, hair is
头
yin.
发就为阴。
Thus, what are yin and yang?
所以什么是阴阳呢？就是
They are
它是
opposing but
是一个
uniting,
对
as
立
they
的，
have to cooperate.
但是对立的本身，它是一定要合作，要合作。就
It's
像
like only
父母
when
亲结婚
parents
了，
come together can
才
we be
生出我
born.
们来。
Almost
所有的事
everything has the unity of yin and yang.
都是有它一个阴阳的对立。
When we
所以
do
当我们
things or
在做事
assignments
情
or
的时候，
carry out plans
就
after
是我注
school,
定好的时候，我现在这些放学之后我做的这些功课，我设定好的这个程序，啊，但是当我去执行这个程序的时候，
we may
我会
be
因为自
distracted
己
by
的
fun stuff, so we can't
被
finish our
其他的
plans.
玩耍的东西所吸引，而破坏掉我的程序。
To
所以
further
阴阳我们
define
可以
yin
再
and
进行
yang,
思考，
good is yang,
就
bad
是
is
比
yin.
如说好的为阳，坏的为阴，
Positive
正确
is
的为
yang,
阳，
negative is yin.
负面的为阴。
In
比如
terms
说
of
我们在严
Buddhism,
整的
Buddha
宗教
is
程序
yang, a demon
就
is
是
yin.
佛陀为阳，魔鬼为阴，啊，
To
我们这样
elaborate, things
从这
that
样延
often
展开来
attract us are
发
not
展到
good
这一步
things.
所以常常吸引我们的，特别吸引我们的，多数都是不好的事情。
Have you
大家
ever
有去
visited
过
casinos? I've been to Las Vegas in the States.
公开赌博的地方吗？去参观一下，有吗？我去过那个美国的那叫拉斯维加斯。
It's a city of
整个
gambling.
城市来
That
说
is
就
the
是
staple
以赌
business there.
以赌博业为主的这样的一个城市。
The
这些赌
casinos
场
look
修得
beautiful.
特别的漂亮。
Many
好多人一
people
看
think their
看到里面的
architecture and
建筑和
food are a
美食，觉得
luxury.
哇，天堂。
I
我还
stayed
在
there
住了
for
2
2
晚。
nights. A gambler was a
哎
VIP client
一
at
个
a
赌博
hotel
高
there.
手在那里，是那里 VIP 客户。
Because of his
沾个光
status, I
住
could
2
stay
晚
there for 2 nights.
确实那个
The hotels
酒
are
店修得
luxurious.
太好了，很豪华。
The
但
owner
是我
of the
住
room
的
where I stayed
这个人
gambled
他
while I
他开的这个
slept.
房间呢，就这个主人呢，他在那儿，我在那儿睡了1晚上的觉，他赌了1晚上，
He left the
到早上
casino
5
at
点
5
钟就
a.m.
离开了。
On that
那一
night,
晚
he
上
lost
他输掉20万美金，
$200,000. In just one night,
一晚上输
$200,000
掉
was
20万美
lost.
金。小
Some
朋友
young
们说，这
friends
个其
say
实不是
that's
最
not
大的
much.
赌注，
People have lost a lot
有
more
的那
than
一晚
this.
上输掉的比你想的还要多，输
Losing
200
$2
万的赌注，
million is normal. What you
就是你
bet
下
is
多
what
大
you
的
may
赌注，
lose on the spot.
就可能会当场输掉多少钱。
$2
所以200
million
万的赌
could
注
be
从
lost
大
within an
赌
hour
场
in a
来
big
说，就
casino.
是1个小时就没有了。
The
但是这
casino
个
is
赌
built
场
so
呢，
beautifully and
修的
luxuriously.
真的是美轮美奂。
I
所以我
felt
在
that
那
hell
里的
was
感
like a
觉，
paradise and a
我
demon
就
was
总结了，我
disguised
是
as
说
an
这个，
angel.
哎呀，地狱看着像天堂，魔鬼像天使。
The more
所
evil
以，
things are, the more
凡是
tempting they are
越
to
是邪恶
humans.
的东西，对人的诱惑就越强大。
In
所以在
Chinese
中国的哲
philosophy,
学
a
当
saying
中有一
goes,
个
as
词汇就
virtue
是
rises 1
道
foot,
高一
vice
尺，
rises 10.
魔高一丈。你做
Positive
正
things
面的
don't
事，
appeal
觉
as
得没有
much.
吸引力。
Say,
我
an
们比如说
artist's
拿拉琴
performance
来说，
after 10
比如说
years
一
of
个很会
practicing is wonderful and
拉琴的一
enjoyable.
个音乐人，哇，他一旦10年学成之后，他在表演的时候，我们就听着好享受，这个琴声太美妙了。
It's
但
the
是
result of
他
training
要
for
经过
1 or 2
几
hours
年或者
daily
10
over
年
10
的
years.
每天的要1、2个小时的训练，
He
才
has
可能
become a
成为一
great
个
artist,
这个
making
方面的
others
表
enjoy
演艺
his
术家，
music.
令人陶醉在他的琴声之中。
It's an
这就是日
accumulation
复一
day
日
by
的积
day.
累啊，所以
It's a
他在
minute
后头
on
苦练
stage
的时
worth
候，
10 years behind it.
就是台上1分钟，台下10年功。所以
Daily
在
hard
苦练的
practice
时
is
候，
really
实
boring.
际上真的很无聊。
But
但
once
是
he
一
reaches
旦
a high
练成
level,
了，
his music will
那
be
真是令
enjoyable.
人享受。
It's
几
the
乎
same
所
for
有的
almost
行业
all
都是这样。
professions, such as
所以练
dancing.
舞也是这样，啊。
If you
你
want to be
未
an
来说我要做
accountant or
会
a
计师，
lawyer,
我要
you
做
need
律
to
师，
spend 10
都是要
years
花
to
过10
achieve
年以
it.
上的功夫，才可能达到的。
In
所以在
any
这个
formal
做任
professional
何正式的
training,
训
there
练
is
过
not
程之
much
中，
fun.
其实也并没那么好玩。
It
不
isn't
像
as
游
appealing as
戏、
games,
赌
gambling,
博、
doing
吸
drugs,
毒，甚
dancing
至
in
是
clubs where kids shouldn't go.
还有些小孩子不该去的那些跳舞的场所等等，那么吸引人。啊，所以
Often,
往
a
往就是
demon is
魔鬼扮
disguised as
成
an
天使，
angel, hell
地
pretending to
狱
be
扮
heaven.
成天堂，扮就是扮演成天堂，其
It's
实是
fake
假
and
的，
harms
害
people.
人的。
When
所
you
以，
behave
当
positively,
你从
demons
事
will
一
try to
个
drag
正
you to
面
an
的
evil
行为的时
path.
候，魔鬼就会把你拉到邪恶的一面，你
Such
来
as
赌博，
gambling,
你来
playing
玩
video
耍，你
games,
来
or
打电
watching
玩，
porn.
甚至说你来看一些色情片。
You're
他
always
总是
tempted
要
by evil. The more
吸引着
evil,
你
the more
去走
attractive.
向邪恶的一面，越是邪恶越吸引人。
Those who
但是
pursue
小时
evil
候
things when
总
they are
是追求
young
邪
will
恶
end
的
up
人，将
miserable.
来都是最悲惨。
Many
我在
poor
看到
laborers have
很多
tattoos
苦
of
活
dragons and
赚不到
phoenixes.
钱的人，很多人身上都纹的都是又是龙又是凤的。
They
所以
thought
小时候
themselves
他就自
heroes
己
when they were
是
young.
一个
That's wrong.
他自己觉得是个英雄式人物，啊，真的是个错误。
This is a demonic path that attracts people.
对人的吸引。
Buddhism believes there are 6 realms within the world of ordinary
普
people.
通的人类这个世界里头，在佛教认为它叫做6道以内。
The 6 realms are controlled by the king of hell. You're greedy. With greed, there will be sin. With sin, you'll go to hell.
毕竟将来下地狱。
If you do good deeds, you'll leave this place.
将来就要
You'll
离开这个
immigrate.
地方，你移民了。
Leaving hell or the realm of hungry
离开
ghosts,
恶鬼
you'll
道
become a
你
god
将
or
来
a
成
Buddha.
神、成仙、成佛。
You are
你不在
totally
我这个
away
地
from
狱
the
的管理
suffering in
范
the
围了。
hell.
所
Before
以
you
你要
leave
脱
this
离这个
world,
世界之前，
when
你
you
做
do
一
a
件好
good
事，
deed, hungry ghosts
恶
will
鬼
try
就
to
往下
pull you
拽
back.
拽回去来赌博吧。
They'll say,
打电玩吧，
gamble, play
打游
video
戏吧，
games, watch
你天天
movies
在这
every
看戏
day,
吧，
you'll learn no
你
skills at
变成
all.
什么本事都没有。
Hell
所以
will
他
pull
会
you
还
back,
会把你
preventing you from
拉回
success
地
and
狱道，
liberation.
就不让你成功，不让你解脱。
Since
因为
you
你
keep
还在
committing
不断地
crimes
去
and
犯
doing
罪
wrong
做错事
things,
情，你
you'll
才
be
会
in the
在恶
hungry
鬼道，
ghost realm and never liberated.
你就永远解脱不了。
Without
所以你没有这
fortitude,
个
without
定力，
using your
你而
wisdom
不
to
用自
discipline
己的
yourself,
真正的智慧来约制自己，
you'll
你
be pulled
就
to
会
do
被恶
something you
鬼
shouldn't
拉向
do.
你去做一些不该做的。
Is
有
it
些
so
人
evil?
这有这么
Say,
邪
is
恶吗？
playing
有时候
video
每天打
games
电
so
玩是那
evil?
么邪恶吗？
Yes, it is.
就是邪恶呀。所以
Why
但是
can't
为
we
什么我管
control
不住自己呢？
ourselves?
就说
Even
你们
adults
成年
can't
人都管
control
不
the
住自己，
demons. This
就是因为
demon
魔
just
鬼
doesn't want to let you
这个
go.
魔鬼不想放过你，希
Please
望你
stay
说
with
你还
us.
是来和
We
我
are
们
all
一起吧，
bad.
我们都是
You
坏
turn
人，
bad
你也变成
too.
坏人，都
What's
变
the
成好人，
fun
我
when
们
all
就
are
什么意
good
思？
people? If you
啊，
become a
你
good
都变成好
person,
人，你
you'll
将来
become a god
你
or
就
an
是神，
immortal.
你就是仙，你
You'll
就
leave
离
my
开我的
world
世
and
界
be
了，
out of my
不
control.
被我控制了。
It will
但
be
他会
afraid
怕
of
失去
losing
你。
you. Like
但
entering
是
a
你进了黑
mafia,
社
you
会，
can't leave
你
it.
想脱离开黑社会的话，那不行呢。
If you
啊，你
leave
的
it,
黑社会
its
大哥
leader
都
will
会来找
punish
你，再
you.
来修理你。恶鬼
Hungry
就是大概
ghosts
这
are
个意
like
思，
this. They hold you tight.
所以他要死死的抓住你。所以
Faced
才
with
我们
doing
就在这想，
assignments or playing
我
video
要
games,
写作业，还是我要玩这个电玩游戏？
most
几
people
乎
want to
多数
play
人都是
games.
说还是
Playing is
玩
fun
耍
and
好，
stress free.
玩耍多快乐，没有压力，没有压力啊。
If when
但
you're
是你
young,
现
you're
在小
always
时候
stress
如果没
free,
有压
you'll be
力，
full of
将
pressures
来
in the
你就有压
future.
力了啊。
I
所以
remind
提
my
醒我
young
们
friends,
年轻的小朋友们哈，
if you
所以
don't
你
read or
从
learn
小没
positive
有
knowledge so as to
学
face
读
pressures when
书，
young,
学更正面的知识这些压力的话，
your
未
future
来
pressure will be as big as the
你的
sky.
压力比天还大。
As a
如果
boy,
作为男
others will
孩
get married,
别
have
人都
children, and
娶
support
妻
a
生子，
family.
你要养活这个家庭的时候，
If you
你赚
can't
不
make
到
any
钱，
money, you'll be unable to
你没
support
有能力
anyone.
养活他们。
And
你
watch the
眼睁
girl
睁
you
看
like
着你
marry
喜欢那
another
个姑娘
person
嫁给别人，没
because
有
you
办法，
can't
你养不
support
起
her.
她的。
As
一
a
个女
girl,
孩
no
如果
matter
你
how
长得有多
beautiful
好
you are,
看，
in the
未来
future, you
是
will
比
compete
知
with
识
your
比能
knowledge
力
and
的时候，
capability. Only
光看你
relying
一
on
张
your
脸，
pretty
你等于
face
在
means
出
you are
卖自己
selling
了。
yourself. You'll
你凭的
rely
是
on
你
your
的
knowledge
知
and
识
wisdom to
和
support
智慧
yourself and your
来养
family.
活自己，养活家庭。
Then a
你才
girl
不依
doesn't
赖
have to
于一个
rely on a
男人，
man, and
你
can
自
be
己
the
才能
master
为
of
自
her
己
own
做主
fate and realize her potential.
啊，这样才发挥了你根本的能力。我
Our
们的潜
potential
能
is
是无限
limitless.
的。我
You
们
are
这些
still
小朋友
young,
们，
it's
你们
very
年龄还
easy and
小，
convenient to have
是改变自己的
transformations.
一生是最容易的、最方便，因为
For
你
you
有
have lots of
无限的
time,
时间，
not
不是
unlimited
无限
though.
的时间，你有很多时间。那
How
我
do
们
we
这些能
cultivate
力
our
是怎样
abilities?
培养出来
At
的
your
呢？
age,
就是
form
在
good
你的这个
habits.
年龄，你的好习惯，培
Form
养出一个
conscientious habits with
认
regards to
真
studying,
研究、
learning,
学
thinking,
习
and
和
observing.
思考、观察的好习惯。
Learn,
认真
think,
学
and
习思
observe
考观察
conscientiously. I've addressed
我
several
下次我还
qualities at
这个
one time.
认真的学习、观察、思考。
Recently, I saw a modern version of Sherlock Holmes told in
现代版
half-hour
的叫福尔摩
episodes.
斯破案集。
Whenever
福尔摩
Sherlock
斯
Holmes
一
met
接
a
触一个人
woman
说来给他做助手，来给他做什么心理辅导。哎，
who
一不小心那人
accidentally
包掉
dropped
在
her
地上
purse, Within 50 seconds, Sherlock could guess the lady's occupation, income,
就
mood.
猜出来的这个女人过去从事个什么职业，现在的经济收入，
And
现在
if
有
she
没有
had a
男人，
partner,
有没有
family,
家
and
庭，
car,
有没有汽
he
车，
got it within
还
50
有什么样的
seconds.
心情，50秒就全部猜到了。
The scent of her
她
perfume
身
or
上有一
lotion
股什么样的
indicated
香
her
水的味道，
occupation,
是
such
什么
as
样的职业，
doctor.
说过去一定是做过医生的人，才有用这种护手霜的这个味道。
This ability is gained through learning and observing every day. When her purse fell on the ground, with one glance, you saw a parking ticket.
眼睛一扫，就是说有一张汽车罚款单。
Why did a person who didn't drive much have a parking ticket? On the ticket, there was the seal and address of a graveyard for the poor.
那个地址是一个坟墓的地址，可是那个坟墓埋的是贫穷的人。
It was a low-status graveyard. But the woman's face, demeanor, and pretty hands indicated she was
和手
wealthy.
的美丽的感觉，说这个人是个富贵出身的姑娘。
Why
怎么
did
会
she
到
go
一
to a
个
poor graveyard and get a
贫穷
parking ticket?
便宜的坟墓面前，还被开了汽车罚单呢？
Sherlock immediately thought she was a surgeon who caused a person's death.
做手术将一个人给做死了。
Because she felt guilty, she went to the graveyard to honor the person.
去祭祀了那个人。
While
一祭祀，
honoring the
心情一
deceased,
激动，
she
就
got
忘记了
emotional
时间，
and
所以被
forgot
警察
about
开了罚
time,
单。
so she was fined by the police.
所以
Therefore,
这几
she
天
was
这个
very
女人心
unhappy
情正在
upon
不
hearing
爽的
Sherlock's
时候。
observations.
所以这个女人一听完之后愣了。
She
你是
thought
神
he was a
人
god. Sherlock said, I'm insane, so my
所
father
以我
asked
父
you
亲
to
才请你
counsel
来
me.
辅导我。其实
He
哪是精
wasn't
神病啊？
crazy, but a genius.
他就是
Where
一
do
个
these
天才。
abilities or
这个
knowledge
天才
come
怎么
from?
来的呢？这
They
些
aren't
知识
from
都不是
connecting
感
with the
应，而
divine,
是
but keen
平
observations
时
every
学东西
day.
的时候精细的感觉。
With
他的
one
眼睛观
glance,
察
he
力
is
扫
able
你
to
一眼
see
就
your
知道
mood,
你这个人
fortitude,
大
the
概的
endurance of your
心
heart,
情、
your energy, and
定力、
confidence level.
心脏的承受力，你身上带有的能量，你自不自信，你
Your
嘴
lips,
唇
the
的样
shape of
子，
your nose, and your
你的
combed
鼻子
hair
的棱角，哎，你头发梳理的清晰的程度，就
convey
全部决定
everything
了
about
你
you.
一切的一切，全部观察到了。
This
就
is
是
just
说
an
我只是
example.
举这个例子，就是
Sherlock's
说
observations
这些
don't
都不是
indicate
玄
godliness.
而
He
这
liked
是
observing
平
and
时
reading.
他喜欢观察，喜欢阅读。
If
你
you
想
want
学
to
到这些
improve
东
these
西，
skills, it's
非
easy.
常容易。
Please
请看
watch
福尔摩
Sherlock
斯
Holmes series.
探案专辑。
After 5
5 集
episodes,
之后，
you
你
almost
已经
become
是
a
半个
professional
神探。
detective. You
是
can
这些
cooperate with the
办案
author
的专家和作家一起合作，
to
将几代
summarize
人的
knowledge gained from
这
observing
是经
cases
对
and
案件对
humans for
人的观察之
generations.
后总结出来的知识，是这样来的。
There
因
is a
此
good
全世
deal
界
in
有一
life.
个
Do you know what it
最
is?
划算的
It's reading.
生意，你们知道是什么吗？那个生意就是读书。
Who has written a book? No
小朋友
one,
谁写过
right?
书啊？
You have. What book have you
没
written?
有吧？你写过书？你写过啥书啊？你才
How
多大
long
呀？
is the book?
请
A
说
love
吧。
letter? I make up stories. You
你
make
自
up
己编故
stories.
事哈，
Then you are
这
a
个小
liar.
骗子啊！
How
你
old
才
are
多
you?
大，你还
You
编
started
故
by
事啊？其实
fabricating stories.
我
I
建议你
suggest
哈，
you
你
start
真
learning
要
to write
你现在
articles.
就学着写文章。
Observing
编
and
故事，
recording true
编故事
stories
不
is
如
better
观
than
察故事，再来
fabricating
记录下
stories.
来是更好。
Listening to stories is better than
编故事
fabricating
不如
them.
听故事，听
After
故事记
hearing
录下来是
stories,
很有意
record
思，
them.
因为
It's
真实。
fun because they're real. The Lord of the Rings
纯
is an
是
example
纯
of
是胡编
fiction.
乱造，像什么魔戒呀，什
Fiction
么
is a
还有
book
那
set
个
in
叫
an
啥，
imaginary world. Sometimes
就是拍
fiction
成
is
电影
made
的那
into a
个，
film.
好像在一个幻觉的世界里头。哈
Harry
利波特
Potter,
你拿
in
个
which the
拿个魔棒
protagonist had a
点一下，
magic
那
wand,
些都
is
是幻想出
fiction.
来的书。那
When
个你要
you've
到了一
reached a
定的
certain
年龄，
age and collect
有
enough
很多
life
的人生的
experiences, you can
阅
truly
历
write.
经验才可以。
A
所
true
以真
writer
正写书
condenses
的
his
人
life
是
experiences
把
into
他
one book.
这半辈子和一辈子的经验浓缩到一本书里头去。
You
那
use a
你呢？
week to read a person's entire
用了
life
一个礼拜
experience. What a
读完人
deal.
家一生的经验，你想有多划算？
Let me tell you another story of ancient war and knowledge.
和知识的故事。
In the Warring States period, about 2,300 years ago, General Sun led an army of 600,000.
要和敌人打仗，他一共带了60万大军。
His army was as big as a city.
有很多了，就形成一个小型城市的人。
He wanted to trick his enemy into believing he had only 60,000 soldiers.
可是呢，他带领这么多军队和敌人作战，但是他要传递讯息给敌人，说我只有6万，就缩减10倍。
How did he do
他用
that?
的什么方法呢？
First, he had most horse hooves wrapped in cloth to leave less hoof prints.
用布包上，在地上留不了那么多马蹄印，只有少数的马蹄印。
Second, with so many soldiers, typically fires would have been lit to cook over.
到中午要吃饭嘛，他们半路要用锅来烧火做饭。
But they didn't cook, they ate dry food. Only a few people cooked fresh food.
有少数的人，
Say 60 people used one stove to cook.
来做饭，这是有规定的，比如60人用一个锅灶。
The enemy scouts counted the stoves to learn how many soldiers there were. Judging by the hoof prints and stoves, they made a guess and reported to their commander. General Sun's enemy estimated that Sun had about 60,000 soldiers.
将军他们只有大约5、6万人，他就可以估算出来。
The enemy wasn't fearful since their army was about 300,000 soldiers. He thought General Sun would lose, having only 60,000 soldiers.
对。
The enemy was fooled.
我们就知道他就上当了。
He thought he would beat General Sun easily, no need to think much.
踩死我，人多他人少。
But when the enemy soldiers arrived at the battlefield, they fell into a trap. Sun's 600,000 soldiers ambushed from different locations and destroyed the
战
enemy.
争的细节来说，就是把他们全部消灭了，他就上当了。
Detailed knowledge comes from reading, observing, and thinking every day.
我们平时的阅读就是读书，还有观察，还有思考。
So, I hope children cultivate and form good habits, develop a positive mind,
自己有一颗正念的心，
and choose a career they enjoy.
你喜欢的人生的职业目标。
Then you can learn how to take good care of yourself.
管好自己。
Do you really want to pursue your life goal? If so, you should put time and effort into it, then you can succeed.
那你就要付出更多的时间，你才能成功。
Do not let demons take you away from Buddha's or God's hands.
将你从神和佛的手里把你拽过去，
Do not let them control you.
给进行控制了，就不要被魔性所控制。
I hope you are always positive and capable, and have Buddha nature and compassion.
积极、能力佛性或者是慈悲的那一面来。
Whatever is demonic will pull you down.
凡是魔性的，都是把你拉下水的。
It's more stimulating, fun, and charming than Buddha
都比
nature.
佛性更刺激，看起来更好玩，更吸引人，更有魅力。
From today on, you need to have this mindset and concept.
因为从现在你开始懂得这个概念了，
Start learning to control yourself and also learning
连
this
控制的
method.
方法都学会了。我
Do
不要
not be
让
pulled
魔性
down
保
by
护我
demonic nature. Carry out your
可以
plan.
按照自己的计划。
Do
去做
well
好
in
自
the
己每
essential
天的事
everyday things.
你要
If you
想
want to be
将来
more
更成
successful
功
and remarkable,
更棒，那
put
你
time
每
into
天再
excelling
多
at
付
what's
出一点时
important.
间去做你该学的那个部分。
You will
将来
be
就了不起。
remarkable. Though I had little schooling, I practiced a
可是我
lot.
修炼的时间，
Other
在我
peers
同
were
龄的小
playing.
朋友们
There were no video games or internet.
玩耍呀。那个时候没有这些电玩哈，也没有网络。
But
但是
my
他们有
peers
他们
would
的玩
gather
法
to
的方法
fight,
一
drink,
群
or
聚在一起
smoke.
都要去打架去。哎，那么小的小孩都我们喝酒去，就模仿成年人，抽烟。啊
Whatever
反
was
正
bad
哪
or
些坏哪
adventurous,
些冒
they
险
wanted to
都
try
要
it.
去做。
Young
很小的
kids
小男
started
孩是一
chasing
群人
girls.
觉得去交女朋友去。
When
我
I was
13岁的时
13,
候，
my friends started having
我
girlfriends.
和我同龄的一个小朋友，我很熟悉，他就开始交女朋友。可是
At
到了35 岁，
35, he
他都
still
没结
hadn't
成。
married. No girl
没有
wanted
女
to
孩要
marry
嫁给
him.
他。大家都知
Everyone
道
knew he was a
他是个花
player.
心萝卜，
What girl wanted to marry
他
him?
心太花，哪个女孩敢去嫁给他呀？
They
最
got
多
to know
认识一
him
下
and
就
ran
跑掉
away.
了，吓跑了。哎，
When
所以
I
我
was
正
putting
在
all my
每
effort
天
into
的苦苦修
practicing,
炼的时候，其
I
实那
lacked
时候我有点自卑的
self-confidence
感觉。
as others thought I was
别
strange.
人觉得看你像个怪物。你
Why
修
is he
修什么也修
cultivating?
啊？他脑子有问题啊！他
They
怀疑我脑子有
suspected I
问题。
was insane.
确实脑子有问
Indeed,
题。
I was crazy.
哎，
If
但
I
是没有
weren't
问题，我就很
crazy,
难
it would
坚
be
持下来。
hard for me to persist.
所以我这样坚
I've
持下
kept
来
on
之后，
practicing and
我发现
discovered
我的
my
脑好
brain
多。
became smarter. Do
他
you
就
want your
想
future
让自
life
己
to be
的
wonderful?
未来的人生，
Yes.
让自己的未来更精彩吗？
If
想
you
让他举
do,
手。
raise your hand. Whatever you
做啥要
do,
更
you
精
want
彩？
it to be
放下。
wonderful. Put down your hands. Do
想
you
让你
want
的
to be
未来
better
超
than
过
your
你的父
father?
亲吗？
Yes,
想，
if you do,
举起
raise
手
your
来。
hand.
好，
Today, we
你
have
今
some
天做的
principles
有一些
here.
校长在
It
这里
doesn't
哈，但是
matter.
没有关系。想
If you
超过
want
你
to
的老师和
surpass
校
your
长吗？
teachers
请
and
举起手来。
principal, please raise your hand. If you
如果
dare
不敢举
not,
手，
you
太没
lack
出息了。举
promise.
起来，
Raise your hand. Put them down.
放下吧。
Even
你
if
举
you
手，不
raise your
管你
hand
很柔软
timidly,
的
I
举起
feel
来，
you're a
我
hero.
觉得这都是英雄。
How
那要
will
怎
you
么做？
act? It depends on you. I've
就要
told
看
you
你
my
的了。
true
我呢，
experience.
把我真实的经验告诉你。
I
我讲的
haven't
一点
faked
也
it,
不
it's
虚伪，
very real.
我觉得特别
Try my
真实。
method, it must be
那你
effective.
试一试做，一定是有效的。
I
这是
hope
我
our
希望
children
我
will
们的
create
孩子们
wonderful lives
将
in the
来
future.
是比较精彩的去创造自己的一生。
You've
因为
come
你
to
曾
learn
经
with
跟我
me
学过一
once.
次，
Enough. It's
这一
enough
次
to
就
make
够
your
了，
life wonderful.
就足可以让自己的人生精彩起来。
I
你不
don't
需要过
encourage you
10
to
学
come
10
here 8 or
次。
10 times.
我并不欢迎哈，
I
再
think
来
it's
连续3次的，
unnecessary
我
to
就
come
很讨
3
厌。
times.
你
You
应
should
该
go
回
back
去
to
做
do
你
what you've
学会的
learned,
该做的事情。
and
10
then
年以
come
后再
back
回来。
in 10 years.
我
I
要
want to
看一
see a
个了不起的
remarkable
一
you
战。
come back. You
我
should
让
think
你去
about
思
what
考，
you should do and whether
思
you
考
want
之
to
后
do
你
it.
该怎么做，还有要不要去做，一定去思考。经
After
过思考
thinking,
再
you
做，
act and your
你
transformation
的
is
改变
guaranteed.
是必然的。
A
就是
great
强
commander
将
has
手
no
下
weak or
无弱
foolish
兵，
soldiers.
就是一个特别棒的将军下面没有笨蛋的兵。
Though
我
I
不一
may
定
not
是
be
最
the
强的
greatest
将，
commander, I
但
tell
是
you
我
my
会真心的
experience
把
with
我
my
经
true
验
heart.
告诉你。
Someday
未来
in
有
the
一天，
future, you will
你
say
会很高
happily,
兴地说：“师傅，听了
Master,
你
I was
一堂
inspired
课，
by a teaching of
对
yours.
我很有启发。”
I'm
现在
doing
做得
very
非
well
常
now, I hope I hear
我
those
希望听到
words.
这样的一个表达。
Are your
大家
legs
现在可
sore?
以
If not, they're
翻动吗？
artificial ones. Sore.
如果不酸痛，它就夹腿了啊。
They
酸
are
痛太
sore.
好了，
Wonderful.
只有
Only
去
by
痛过，
experiencing
你
soreness
才
and
会
pain can you learn.
你才会更加认真。好，
Soreness and pain have limits.
酸痛也是
I
有
won't
极限
jabber
的
or
啊，
speak
我就
any
不再啰嗦，
nonsense.
不再废话了。谢谢
Thank
大家。
you all.